Hi subscribers and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dominic James Murray, CEO, founder and IFA here at Cameron James. Today we're going to be discussing the Momentum International SIPP, charges, fee schedule and reviews. If you're watching this video and you already have a Momentum International SIPP and you would like to understand how to improve your performance or lower your costs, you can click below to book in for a free initial consultation. Likewise, if you're just starting your journey now into international SIPPs, book in for a free appointment. We will review everything in detail and see how we can help. Okay, so why am I talking about Momentum International SIPP? So a bit of history here. The Momentum International SIPP, say 4 or 5 years ago, was the go-to international SIPP provider in the offshore market. When I say offshore, I simply mean beyond the United Kingdom. In the UK, there's obviously much bigger SIPP providers in the market: Hargreaves Lansdown, AJ Bell, Fidelity, etc. I've also actually done a couple of videos on AJ Bell, so you can head over to watch those if you're interested. So the Momentum International SIPP was getting the majority of business from the market. What this meant for them is that obviously there was a lot of business coming in, and sometimes people get confused between the trustee and the financial advice which they receive. So let me break it down for you quickly. You have the trustee, who is there to maintain the assets inside a pension wrapper. A trustee does not provide you with financial advice. Clients may often say, oh, XYZ company is rubbish, my pension lost a load of money, I'd never work with that SIPP provider ever again. It's actually not really logical, because the SIPP provider is not the one providing them with financial advice. If you don't do anything, the money would just stay in cash, which means it would never grow and it would never decrease. So you physically can't lose money apart from the annual charges of the SIPP. Generally, bad advice or bad portfolios or portfolios going down, 9 times out of 10, it's due to bad advice from an unscrupulous financial advisor. In the offshore market, commissions, bonds, trail paying funds, exit penalties are very, very common. So inside something such as a Momentum International SIPP, you may well have a large range of underlying funds which are expensive, have exit penalties, or even structured products which are perhaps a little bit beyond the complexities of what you could understand as a retail investor. So what I can say is that really you always need to think about the financial advisor who gave you the advice rather than the SIPP provider itself. So Momentum used to get a lot of international SIPP business. In 2019, 2020, they've actually rebranded their SIPP business to iPensions now. What can I say about iPensions? We currently work with iPensions at the moment. I can caveat that we're not being paid for this video. iPensions, we haven't even told them we're doing this video. What I would like to do though is share my experience of working with them and how I find in terms of service. So we actually started working with the iPensions SIPP because they accept Insistent Clients. An insistent client for a final salary pension transfer is when obviously a DB pension transfer has not been advised and the client wishes to move ahead with the advice anyway. For us, this is obviously a limited number of cases whereby a client really wishes to proceed anyway. So for example, you might have a client in their late 40s, the PTS, pension transfer specialist, has said no, the client is too young, he should wait until age 55 before he or she has access to even take the benefits from a SIPP. They may as well stay inside their final salary scheme. The client, however, may have sufficient and large assets beyond the SIPP or beyond their final salary, and they might just want to transfer it anyway. Maybe they want to take a much higher level of risk than they can inside their DB scheme, hence why an insistent client process might happen. So we began working with iPensions again of late, and the service has been very good. The initial application and process with them is very fast. The onboarding of clients is very fast. Everything is done by electronic signature. There's no original paperwork to be required, which is obviously always a positive. In terms of fees and charges of working with the Momentum International SIPP back in the day, it was around £300 setup and £500 per annum on an ongoing cost. Now, what you can say about the Momentum International SIPP is perhaps now there's cheaper international SIPP providers in the marketplace. So for example, we did a video on Novia Global, who has 0 setup fee and £180 per annum. However, to complete a transfer via a financial advisor, these are both advisor-led SIPPs, is going to be a costly process. So while one SIPP provider might be a little bit cheaper than the other, it could actually cost you more in terms of transfer fees, because a financial advisor has to go through all the due diligence in terms of completing a transfer out. So in terms of fees and charges, they're not necessary now compared to the market how it is today, but their iPensions SIPP is very cheap. It has a 0 setup fee and £200 per annum ongoing if you're using their underlying platform. So I would say my reviews of the iPensions SIPP, which has been rebranded from the Momentum International SIPP, is pretty positive. I don't really have any concerns in working with them. The assets and the custodian, everything checks out, and generally our clients are obviously pretty happy in terms of the service that they receive. The only other thing that can be commented on is obviously looking for logins. Clients are always emailing me, I don't have my login. All you need to do is email your financial advisor or get in touch with us, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with Momentum or iPensions as it's been rebranded for them to ensure you have full online access for your account. Guys, this is kind of a new style of video I'm doing, giving a bit of feedback on providers that we're working with. Generally, I'm preferring to do positive videos about companies that we actually think are pretty good. If you prefer me to do some negative videos, I'm more than happy to do so. Let me know your comments in the comment section below. Like, share as always, and yes, book yourself in for a free initial consultation if you would like to discuss your specific situation in more detail, and it is free with no obligation. We're not going to book you in for a call and then say obviously now you need to work with us. We will generally put together a free transfer advice report for you to understand whether you wish to stay where you are or whether you maybe wish to change, or it might even just be changing the underlying portfolio. If you have a Momentum International SIPP, it might well be the underlying portfolio advised to you by your previous financial advisor, not Momentum International SIPP, is poor value, high cost, low performance. We could typically move that over to a portfolio of around 0.3 or 30 basis points, 0.3%, which has generally on average around 10 or 11% return on a balanced portfolio, around 67% equity weighting based on an annualized return performance of around 5 years. Guys, I hope that was useful. I look forward to your comments below, and as always, please subscribe with the red button to find out more weekly updates from myself on the pension transfer industry. Thank you guys, and goodbye.